The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all.
He came with sequels in his bag, reboots and flops, a pop culture tag. Yeah, we talk the rise, the fall, the shame of the movie series that forgot their name. So line up the clips and cue the score. We've seen this plot 5 times before. No happy end, just one more spin. Queen on the long road to ruin, it begins.
Yes, indeed. He's a certified freak 7 days a week. His wet ass pussy is going to make that pull-out game week. Woo-ha! Jesse Starcher is in the house. He's on the long road to ruin. How do you do, sir?
No truer words have ever been spoken to describe me so aptly.
When I think of Jesse Starcher, podcast host extraordinaire, I think wet ass pussy.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful.
Aren't you glad you agreed to this tonight?
Last show I'll be on for a very long time, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, you just heard what? No, I'm just kidding.
And this is his goodbye show.
Yeah, this is an interesting pick here. What's behind our subject for this evening?
Well, tonight, let me do a real quick thing to answer your question, and then I'll do my official introduction.
Okay.
Honestly, like I said, this year I really wanted to try to watch as many of the streaming movies that came out as possible. When I was looking at movies that were streaming, things I could make triple features out of, I saw another Simple Favor, and I'm like, oh, this is a sequel. And I'm like, weird. Like, I'm really trying, because the last couple of years have been so exhausting for me in terms of just doing podcasts, that I was like, I gotta get, and I've said this a lot this year, I have got to get out of the rut that I'm in. I gotta try new things, look at new genres. That's why when, I hear like, will you do a Steel Magnolias, or will you do this, will you do that? I'm being open to it because I can't keep doing the same old slop. So I saw another Simple Favor. I saw that it was a sequel, and I'm like, okay, I'll give this a flyer. I like Anna Kendrick. Anna Kendrick, just based on ability, face, body structure, what I know about her public persona, is probably my favorite actress.
Oh, really? Okay.
I love Anna Kendrick to death. I will watch anything that she's in. And we're already doing well with her. I mean, she was in Dummy after all.
Dummy.
It's like the best thing ever.
Oh, what an interesting show that was.
You're welcome. So the other thing was, I know Blake Lively's gotten a lot of negative attention because of the movie she did. Where,
This Is Us?
Yeah.
Or not This Is Us, but shoot, it ends here or something.
This ends with us, yeah.
The fuck if this is going to happen again, something like that. I can't.
I'll tell you what, the movie. You go fuck yourself. I believe is what it was called. Get your goddamn hands off her, Biff. Yeah, she's got a lot of negative attention. I know Blake Lively's like, I think, married to Ryan Reynolds, but prior to this end up, and all the controversy that came out of it, I really didn't know anything about Blake Lively. I didn't know that much about Amber Heard either. I don't follow celebrity gossip.
Right. Yeah.
2 actors in a fucking domestic violence doesn't really interest me.
Right.
So while the rest of the nation was, enthralled with this, the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing, and then the Blake Lively, this one over here, I'm never gonna get the name of the movie right after this. I think I may have said it once right, and that was the end of that.
You did.
But I didn't pay that close attention. But she doesn't fucking bother me. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like her and Justin Theroux, or whatever the fuck the guy's director's name was. Marion Barry, Al Sharpton, whatever the director's name was. There's a theme here.
Yeah. Coke.
It doesn't upset me personally, so I don't have any issues with Blake Lively. So when I saw that they were in this movie together, and then the third thing, it was like directed by Paul Feig, and I'm like, okay, well, he also doesn't offend me the way he offends most people. I don't have a personal vendetta against Paul Feig,
Right.
especially for Ghostbusters 2016.
I was going to say that's where a lot of it lies.
Yeah. So I just didn't pay any attention to it when it came out. I didn't even know it existed until I saw the sequel.
Same.
And so that's what I said when I read about it. I was like, okay, well, I want to. This all seems like things that either won't bother me or I actually like. We'll see how this goes. And I don't trust or like or want to talk to anyone else besides you.
Okay, well, that's good.
so
right.
I can say as like I don't even need to tell you like, oh, Jesse, do you have any prior no. I just say, Jesse, we're reviewing this, and you go, yes, master. That ass pussy, got it.
Yes, indeed.
So, before I jump into things, did you know what these were before I threw them on the schedule?
So, just like you,
Mark wants a simple favor, and you're like, well, here I go again.
I had saw the trailer. I believe I'd seen the trailer on Amazon for the sequel.
Okay.
I didn't watch it. But I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting." I mean, it seems okay. It's an Anna Kendrick movie, and kind of like you, I have, an affinity for Anna Kendrick. I've always found her pretty funny. I've enjoyed what I've watched with her in it. So I can't say that I've watched much on purpose with Blake Lively in it. This might actually be one of the first things I've watched that actually had her in it. I did not watch. My daughter and I think my wife watched This Ends With Us. And they
immediately started beating on the men in the house.
I wasn't allowed.
Marco's like, I like pretty lady. No, your sister good.
I treat him right. I promise. I stayed in the basement for about a week. It was bad. but yeah, they both love that film. So, I guess I gotta count Deadpool, although she's not starring in that Deadpool Wolverine, where supposedly she was the Lady Pool, if I remember correctly. But anyway, so there you go. That's kind of like my history with it, and I didn't know the first one existed until I saw the trailer for the sequel. And there you go.
Well, Jesse, this ends with us.
It does, as a matter of fact, right here.
We're diving into A Simple Favor and its sequel, Another Simple Favor. Two stylish, twisty thrillers that sit at the intersection of dark comedy, mystery, and melodrama.
Geek and chic.
That's right. Get your Monopoly earrings. But behind the glamour and plot turns lies an interesting story of studio strategy, financial risk, and evolving distribution models.
Ooh.
Let's start with the original. A Simple Favor 2018 is directed by the aforementioned Paul Feig, from a screenplay by Jessica Sharzer, and stars Anna Kendrick as Stephanie and Blake Lively as Emily. The film is based on the 2017 novel by Darcey Bell. Its budget was modest, around $20 million, and went on to gross nearly $98 million worldwide. Critics generally responded well, with a Metacritic score in the high 60s, and audiences giving it a CinemaScore of B+. Rotten Tomatoes praised it as twisty, twisted, and above all, simply fun. Part of the allure is the tone. It plays like a mommy noir, elegant, sharp, with sharply drawn characters and unpredictable turns. It was a strong showing for a mid-tier studio film and helped cement A Simple Favor as a cult favorite in the thriller and women-driven mystery niche. Fast forward to 2025, and we have another Simple Favor. This sequel is not based on a book. It's based on a fever dream. No, just kidding. Unlike the original, it's an original screenplay by Jessica Sharzer and Lyda Kalogridis. The production is a co-venture. Lionsgate still participates, but distribution shifted. Another Simple Favor was released on Amazon Prime Video rather than in theaters, with Amazon MGM handling distribution. Filming took place in 2024 in locations like Capri and the Villa Adriana in Italy.
And the crew got a vacation, paid vacation.
And they didn't even have to do an Adam Sandler movie. Critically, the sequel has earned mixed reviews. Some praise Lively's magnetic presence, gorgeous costumes, and the ambition of the story's escalation. But others argue it feels overstuffed, that pacing sags in parts, and that it lacks some of the tightness or novelty of the first film. One reviewer summed it up. This was not the angry metal guy.
No. Well,
It works better when its characters are just allowed to be marvelous instead of mysterious. It also premiered at South by Southwest in March of 2025 before its streaming release on May 1st. The fact that its home is Prime Video rather than a theatrical run signals some of the shifting business realities behind studio films, especially for sequels that carry a higher risk. Yeah, nobody cares about women anymore. Nobody wants to see movies with women in them, so not in theaters at least. These two films provide an ideal case study in how creative ambition, risk, and studio strategy collide. The first film was a mid-budget gamble that paid off. The second gives us lessons in modern distribution, content partnerships, and the pressures on mid-sized studios to share risk or cede control with streaming giants. Today, we're going to compare the narratives, the characters, the successes and stumbles, but also look behind the curtain. How studios like Lionsgate, formerly a studio, are navigating a volatile business environment, why a sequel would skip theaters, and why the shift in approach gives another simple favor an edge or handicap. So, Jesse, grab your martini. Let's get into a simple favor and another simple favor. So, the basic premise is we have these two moms. One does a YouTube show, and she does like cooking recipes and shit. And then the other one is hotsy-totsy and kind of a drunk. And their boys are friends at school.
she has a career as well. She does. She works. She's like a large, like PR person or something at this
Like a
modeling
fashion
agency.
designer,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's like head of marketing for this fashion designer.
Right.
So anyway, they become friends, and then Blake Lively, who is the hotsy-totsy, she disappears. Anna Kendrick kind of goes on the hunt after she's gone for a little while and tracks her down, and they think she's dead. They find what looks to be her body in a lake in Michigan. So Anna Kendrick then, is the hand that rocks the cradle as she lives with the ex-husband, and they raise the boys together in sinful matrimony. However, the ghost of this woman shows back up, and she's like leaving things in different places and, making odd phone calls and whatnot. And so Anna Kendrick's like, hey, for a dead person, you're awfully lively. So
Matter of fact, you're Blake Lively.
Oh, Dick. Hey, hi-yo. So she goes on the hunt again, and she discovers that Blake Lively faked her death, and further discovers that Blake Lively was a twin, and the twin's a heroin addict, which is important because when they found the body, it was full of track marks. And so what had occurred was that Blake Lively and her husband, who's played by Henry Golding, are house poor, and she figured if she faked her own death, she would inherit an insurance policy to the tune of $4 million, and they could, then live happily ever after.
You wait a couple years, and the real estate market's going to be just fine with that house. Trust me.
Yeah, really. Stop, and putting together crazy plots to collect insurance.
Just wait it out. You'll be all right.
Right. So anyway, Anna Kendrick sniffs this out, and Blake Lively's like, well, I can't have you mucking with my money and all. So at the end of the movie, Anna Kendrick and Henry Golding plot to overthrow Empress Blake Lively. But Blake Lively is, smaller than the average bear, so she ends up shooting for real Henry Golding. But the whole thing, ta-da, dun-dun-dun, was caught on camera, a little miniature camera, size of a button. On cute as a button, Anna Kendrick. And she got the whole thing on tape.
Yes, she did.
And then one of the stay-at-home dads runs Blake Lively over with a car. Hit that motherfucker with a car! And she goes off to prison, and Henry Golding goes to be a professor at Berkeley. And now Anna Kendrick is known for not only making recipes, but also for solving crimes. and her YouTube channel gets over 1 million subscribers. Is that what it takes, Jesse? I gotta fucking solve a murder or some shit.
Well, you got to think back in 2018, if you would have been on the cusp of all, I mean, I don't know if it was the cusp then. It might have been pretty established, but all of those moms were just itching for that true crime.
Had I had a consistently weekly YouTube show prior to COVID, and then everyone's home watching YouTube during COVID, I could have blown up.
Yeah, straight to the moon.
Or shot myself, one of the two. Either way, YouTube would have been involved.
Oh, man.
What'd you think of A Simple Favor?
All right. Well, these were two that I watched with my wife. And surprise.
And what did Miss Appalachia think?
She loved this. And
good. I finally found something Mindy likes. All right, we're done. Thanks, everybody. Well, this has been a great run.
You got it. The end. Yeah, she liked this one. This was definitely, got positive marks by Melinda Starcher for sure. You get our introduction to Stephanie here, who is this, just like you said, this meek vlogger. She'd lost her husband. Find out, under your picture there's a little bit of a tagline: keep your friends close and your secrets closer, I think is what it says.
Jesse, don't tell me about the relatives you fucked. Please don't. I don't want to
know. I mean, that is actually a common theme between both films, is what.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. There's a weird incest thing in both of these movies.
Right.
Yeah. Could you imagine? Like, I really like these movies. I like the concept of having sex with a sibling. What?
It's horrible. But, I mean, it's definitely an element here. We find out that in Stephanie's past, she had slept with her half-brother. Her husband found out about it. Her husband was pissed, took him for a ride in his car, and possibly purposely crashed it into a barrier. He didn't look like he was doing well mentally, and killed both him and her half brother. And then we find out there's a possibility the son that she has is her from her half brother. That's not actually made clear if it's not or if it is, but regardless, this is she's getting out of let's try it again. She just became widowed shortly before this, so she's trying to get her life back together. She's very apologetic. That's one of the first things when she runs into and her sons, beg for a play date. It's not like Blake Lively, Emily had this all planned out initially. It was just by chance their two sons got along together, and then they become friends because she went over to her house. And yes, Emily, my goodness, the best way to describe her, she's very magnetic. She's blunt. She's powerful. She's stylish. She's impossible to kind of pin down. She's not meant to be likable in any way. You do not like this girl. You don't like Emily at all. But
I could see a lot of women liking Blake Lively.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But she's, you can't help but be drawn to her. She's, you just watch her.
She's kind of the cool heel.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But then things start to get a little, dark and creepy, and there's one time where as they're becoming friends, you could see she's putting something in motion. She makes a mention about, how her son would be better off without her, and she doesn't want her picture taken. Don't take my picture. She threatens to sue. I mean, it's really like out of the blue. So she's, real kind of nice in one moment, and then if you do something, Emily has no problem like shutting you down or tearing your head off or something like that. So she got this like real dark side to her, and she's not very friendly sometimes. But somehow Stephanie, who's looking for a friend, considers her best friend. And that's kind of how we start the movie, is her doing the vlog. Hi, moms. Well, we're still looking for Emily, who's left her son with me for the past 5 days. And she's not surfaced. And that was the simple favor. Could you watch my son? And then she just disappears.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, you have these elements of suspense. trying to figure out what happened to her. Then you know Stephanie has stepped into something bad, and you can't help but like just you want to scream at the TV, girl, stop doing what you're doing. You are falling into something. Now, the way that I think this first movie, the things that it does well, it doesn't give you clues as to who is doing what, because there's a lot of this movie where you think that I thought the husband was involved.
Like kind of was.
I did. I mean, until we finally get like the reveal when.
When Blake Lively talks to Anna Kendrick, and she's like, it was all Sean's idea. Sean is the character's name.
Yeah.
Here's and this is why I think like this movie works pretty well. Is it's never bluntly clear.
Yeah, it's not clear
what's happening or why it's happening. Like Blake Lively does a whole thing with Anna Kendrick, like, oh, you think he loved you? She has the recording of Sean saying it's just sex. And she's like, oh, it wasn't even my idea. It was Sean's idea. And then the movie never straightens that out. Like by the end of this movie, one thing for sure, that Blake Lively definitely faked her own murder and definitely killed her sister.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, you don't really know whose idea it was, how much any one person knew at any time. And the only person whose hands are completely clean in this is the hero of the movie, and that's Anna Kendrick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, to me, I felt like when she approached him, I should say, when Emily, pronouns pal, when Emily approached Sean at the diner, and I bought that as genuine surprise. Like he actually had thought she was dead. But yeah, you can't help but like kind of hoist some of that suspect. Hold on a second. Suspicion. There's the word. Suspicion on Sean throughout up to that point, because you're thinking like, yeah, he was possibly in on this. He took out the $4 million life insurance policy. And I was trying to think, because we watched the first movie this morning, and I don't think she really had intentions of doing anything bad to Anna Kendrick aside from just leaving. I think she found Stephanie a person competent enough and friendly enough to leave her son while she faked her own death. She left her son with her. Mm-hmm. It wasn't really until she started snooping around that Emily got kind of upset. She definitely isn't a great person at the beginning of this, but I think if Stephanie wouldn't have gone looking, then Emily would have been just fine and remained kind of reclusive. But then again, of course, she starts sleeping with Sean. As a matter of fact, that happens like right after the wake, if I remember correctly. Like they sleep together right after the wake, which is, that's
which is also very common for Stephanie.
That's yeah. So, Stephanie and so at that point, Emily is kind of getting a little upset. I think she's getting a little jealous, and she, according to her, can't stay away. She loved her son dearly enough to where she can't stay away. And now that she's found out about what Stephanie is doing, even though Stephanie, her hands are clean, well, she is, involved with this guy. And I believe that Emily is a little jealous, we'll just put it that way, and she starts making herself known again. She gives the friendship bracelet.
That's the thing, is you're taking a lot of this movie, and maybe you're right. I'm not going to fight you too much, but I think I'm very skeptical of both Sean and Emily.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, Emily for sure. I understand.
There's almost an air of an unreliable narrator in this.
Yeah. Oh, there is. There absolutely is.
Because both Emily and Sean lie enough in this movie that I found myself in any scene that they were in where they were talking to Stephanie as not being sure if they were being honest.
What did Sean lie about, though?
We don't know if when Sean said to Emily it was just sex, we don't know if he said that. I don't know if you know this or not, but guys will sometimes lie to women.
Oh, I know for a fact. I was sitting there thinking, like, I think he's probably lying considering she has a gun cocked under the table right now. He's going to tell her anything.
He'd have told her he fucking started the Chicago fire.
Right,
dude. That's what she wanted to hear. But that's my point. Like, I don't totally buy everything he says to Anna Kendrick. I don't totally buy everything he says to Blake Lively. I didn't buy everything Blake Lively said to Anna Kendrick. It takes a whole other movie for me to believe Blake Lively, and that's because she's not the villain in the second one.
Yeah, she barely is.
Right, but she is in this one, and Sean's not much better. So let me tell you about some of my craft thoughts.
Okay,
if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
One, Anna Kendrick is a brilliant actress. She does like Hollywood star and Girl Next Door pretty effortlessly.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is she is a dainty woman. That is a small woman. I mean, Blake Lively may be extra tall, but like Anna Kendrick is probably like 5'1". Like she's a shorty.
She's tiny.
I mean, she look granted makeup and everything, but even in this movie, she could pass for like fucking 20. So yeah, Anna Kendrick effortlessly plays like this beleaguered mother. She has such wonderful charisma. Like, to this day, almost anything I see Anna Kendrick in, like, I tend to, like, I might look at an actress and go, "You're hot, I want to bang you," but I generally don't think like I would like to date you. Almost to a T. I look at most actresses and go, "No thanks. You seem crazy." And I look at Anna Kendrick and I generally want to be her boyfriend. And that comes out in her performance. They wrote her very well. She acts very well with the stuff they gave her. So yeah, Anna Kendrick is 5 stars in the Tokyo Dome in this movie. She's really great, and her character is one that I think really rides that line of being a real person, but also being someone you can project yourself onto. Like, yes, typically we're not sleeping with half relatives and whatnot, but I think they gave her a lot of soapy, dramatic stuff. My dad died. I was in a terrible place. I had just learned I had a half brother, so I really don't know him as a relative. I know him as this dude, and I'm in a vulnerable place. And I end up having sex with him, and my husband finds out about it, and he goes off the fucking deep end and kills himself and this guy. Yeah.
Did you see? By the way, did you recognize who the brother was? The half brother?
No.
Hot Frosty.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah, that was Hot Frosty. I was like, I would know that guy from somewhere, and then. I had to do a little searching, but yeah, that was Hot Frosty.
He was wearing clothing I didn't recognize. So anyway, but on the one hand, I think playing this character, I think she creates a really interesting, fun character, but also I could see a lot of people, not even just women, projecting themselves onto her. Feeling like you're just treading water.
Yeah.
Blake Lively is also relatable, but for all the wrong reasons. Like, I could see a lot of, especially women, projecting themselves onto her. But in that same way, but for Anna Kendrick, but with different variables, like, who wouldn't want to be this leggy, hot, model-esque blonde? Who wouldn't want to wear... Dude, I'm not like a fashion person. By the way, you know what this says? Back and body hurts.
Nice. Very nice.
You can buy this on the TikTok shop. Anyway. Ding. But I know fashion, high fashion when I see it. I've watched enough Project Runway and movies that dealt with the fashion world to where I get more from an aesthetic point of view, what the stuff looks like. If you're a girl, I don't give a fuck. I wear fucking basketball shorts and t-shirts. But if you're a girl and you're into fashion, or you're a dude that you're into fashion, for that matter, why be sexist? You look at Emily and you're like, who wouldn't want to be her?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't want to be statuesque, covered in fabulous fashion, fit as a fiddle, and and have that kind of almost royal air to her. She talks like she was old money.
Well, she owns the room when she comes in. I mean, when you first meet her and you start to realize she is the alpha. almost every time that she's somewhere, she is very much in control. And that's what
had this
makes
not been a Lionsgate movie, had this been Universal, I think this would have been a much bigger hit because it would have had a much bigger marketing push.
Right?
Because I would tell you most Western women would want to be either Anna Kendrick or Blake Lively in this movie, or see themselves as somewhat one of those two women. Like this is definitely like a girl's girl movie. I'll tell you what this is and why I think I like it so much. Because this is the kind of movie that it's like they're taking all the stuff that guys like and putting girls in them to draw that audience instead of taking a concept that guys like and twisting it into something women would really enjoy.
Okay.
And that's what this is. This is because what is this really? It's a mystery. It's a hard-boiled noir. Strip away all of the feminine veneer from this movie. This is simply a detective story. Anna Kendrick is your hard-boiled, trench coat wearing Columbo detective noir, and Emily is the disappeared broad. And she's on the hunt for who killed her, and and it's got all kind, like that's a lot of that's very much a guy thing. Women also like mysteries, though. So, like I said, I think it's very much a lot of the same stuff that guys would like, but it's infused with all of this stuff with girl stuff, things that women enjoy in movies.
Right.
And your two leads are very much identifiable, aspirational women in their own way. Now, somewhere out there, someone's like, you think women would want to be these two people? One of them's a complete piece of shit, and the other one banged his brother. Not like to that degree, but would you want to look like Blake Lively and wear her clothing? Yes, you would. Would you want to be seen, and would you want to be competent and, as brave and smart as Anna Kendrick was in this movie? Sure you would. Sure you would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you want to be sought after the way that Anna Kendrick is? I mean, like in another world, Sean doesn't have to want to sleep with Anna Kendrick. He'd be like, "Oh, my wife," and and you're a little short for me, and shoves her into her closet. But no, he's like, he very much wants to bang her too, and it's nice to be wanted, Jesse. It's nice to be
right.
wanted.
I mean, the relationship between him and Emily is not great. Just like you said, they're house poor, and we get the whole before Sean even shows up.
He hasn't written a book since they've been together,
right? Because he's absolutely in love with her, according to him. And there's a moment between Emily and Stephanie where she's just kind of throwing him under the bus and talking about how much she hates him, and then he shows up, and she starts making out with him there right in front. Another alpha move,
by the way. Listen, that was the way that looked like she was gonna fucking devour him.
Another alpha
making
move.
out look like the Predator making out with a xenophobe.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of what this movie is about, you watch Stephanie kind of grow from the timid mother blogger to you think that she is completely outmatched going up against Emily here, and finally she starts, as she starts to unravel things, she also starts to grow this bit of confidence. And it's neat to see her come face to face with Emily at the end, Stephanie versus Emily, and they think they got this, that plot figured out, that they're going to try and get her to confess, and ends up happening. But it's cool to watch her kind of morph into a bit of a badass herself.
What did you think of the Linda Cardellini scene?
Linda Cardellini, help me out.
She plays the artist.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was her, wasn't it? I knew I recognized her.
There was some real fun stuff in terms of how the mystery unfolds. So what is the first thing that Emily does? Because she has no fucking clue, or not Emily, Stephanie.
Yeah.
What's the first thing that Stephanie does? There's no fucking clue where this woman is. She has no idea where to begin looking for. Oh, and by the way, she's not an actual detective. So she takes the portrait of Blake Lively's wet ass pussy off the wall, And then she's looking at it and she sees the artist and she's like, that's probably a good place to start.
Yeah. Clue number 1.
Right. So she goes and talks to Linda Cardellini, and Linda Cardellini's like, she's a con artist. And, and it's because of Linda Cardellini has a box of Blake Lively's stuff. So she goes through that, and that's what leads her to Michigan, and that's what leads her to Blake Lively's mother, who is half an insane person, and that's what leads her back to the camp. Blah, blah, blah. And so eventually she figures out that's how she figures out that Blake Lively has a twin. So one of the things I liked about this movie, and then we can start to wrap this up and move on to the second one, is there's a genuine mystery here. There's a lot of interesting, fun clues. You really get to go on the trip with Anna Kendrick and see where it's going. Like I genuinely, like I said, I didn't really know anything about this movie, so I was in for the ride. I genuinely didn't know where this was going or what the plot was. I figured because they made such a big deal out of the $4 million insurance policy that was going to play into it. But, they find Blake Lively's fucking body in the lake, and it takes until you discover that she was a twin. Actually, she's a triplet before you realize, oh, that's how she got away with it.
Yeah.
And credit to fucking Blake Lively, who gets to do the I'm playing two of the same characters thing. She plays Emily. She plays her sister Faith as well, and she has to do an entire scene acting against herself, where she's a heroin addict.
Yeah.
Like, say what you will about Blake Lively. Maybe she's kind of a cunt on set. Who knows? I don't. I'm not there. I have no idea what went on. This is the End of Us. But she's a great actress by virtue of this and the next movie. No question about it. Like, I will always be fair in my assessment of people's acting ability. Blake Lively, based on these two movies, is an exceptional actress.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's not easy to do what she did.
Right.
A lot of actors struggle with it. She fucking pulled it off, and it looked like two different people.
Yeah.
Like, I just had to check to make sure that was really her and not like, a stand-in that they CGI'd her face or some shit.
Right. Right.
And it looked good too. Like, this isn't a special effects movie, but they have to do that much when they have her acting against herself. Looks clean as a whistle. So I asked you about the Linda Cardellini thing. Speak on that, and then kind of give me the last words here, and then we'll move on.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we get Stephanie going to try and find out. She finds her artist friend that had slept, or at least was very much in love with, I think, with Emily / Hope at this time. And you could tell there was raw passion there. It seemed like at this point, you're starting to realize that she draws these people in with Hope / Emily draws these people in. And it's like they are just become obsessed, which is actually something that gets brought up again in the next movie. But it seems like that is something that Hope does to these people. They become, they fall in love with her, and then they become very much obsessed. But yeah, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen there in that scene. She has that knife. The artist has that knife. I can't remember what the artist's name was. Diana or something. Diana has the knife. Dirty Diana has the knife, and she's going to. It looks like she's going to cut Anna or cut Stephanie up, but of course, she realized that that's not exactly what's going to happen. So yeah, it was a fun scene. I mean, as we wrap this up, really, I agree with you. I mean, this was a good mystery. I was on the hook. It was, as far as like all the beats, and it's dark comedy. We got there's a good bit of humor in this.
I almost introduced you tonight as, hey, brother fucker.
Well, I would have come right back with a sister fucker. But yeah, the relationship dynamics, you think that Stephanie is in over her head, and then finally at the end, she gets the one over on her nemesis, Emily there. But yeah, we find out I think Emily goes to jail for 20 years. As the credits roll, or before the credits roll, we kind of get an update that Nikki, who is Emily's son, is still living with Sean.
I got to address that really one thing. I love this movie. I really did. I really enjoyed this movie. I'm glad we're talking about it. But there was one scene in particular that actually made me tear up a bit. Because again, I think in the hands of a different writer, in the hands of a different director, this isn't the same material is not as good. I have to give the production team a lot of credit. This is a very sharply written movie. And my example of that is at the wake scene for Emily, where Nicky is acting out. He's like pulling leaves off branches, and then he's like ground and pounding fucking Emily's son, or Stephanie's son. And then they go out there, and she goes out there with Sean, and and Sean's like freaking out because he's not the world's greatest dad. And, she's like, take my son inside, get him cleaned up. He's got a bloody nose. And she sits with Nicky, and Nicky's like, I want to talk to you. As a therapist, as a parent, as a man, as somebody who I think, I'll pat myself on the back. I don't compliment myself much. I'm actually really down on myself, to be honest with you. It's weird because I do this podcast. You guys know me personally, and I'm about celebrating you guys, putting you guys up, and like I joke, but I don't ever actually say good things about myself. But I think I have fairly high emotional intelligence, and I think I'm a really, really good dad, and I know how to handle situations with kids. And I'm saying all of that because I watched Anna Kendrick interacting, her character Stephanie interacting with Nicky. When Nicky's like, I don't want to talk to you, she's like, you don't have to talk to me. And she sits with him. She's like, let's just sit here and feel lousy. And that broke me. That was a moment that broke me because I don't know how, there was like no better way to handle that.
Yeah, it's really interesting you brought that up because that was a note that I had wrote down. Like, okay, if you're going to hammer the fact that this girl is a good mom, and she gets kind of made fun of for that at the beginning, but that moment that you're talking about, any other parent would have. I know it would have been hard for me to handle it like she did. That's for sure, because I would have grabbed my kid and took my kid away from the other kid. I would not have sat down with the aggressor in this situation and said, yeah, okay, let's just, she's going through her own stuff too, regardless.
It takes a lot. It takes a high amount of empathy.
Yes, it does.
And I think that's where I saw myself in that character.
Right.
And that's why I reacted. I don't always see myself in the stuff that we talk about. I talk about how others see themselves. I recognize how others might see themselves. But I don't ever really see myself reflected much of anywhere. Which is a very lonely feeling. And then I saw that. And I almost stopped the movie.
Wow.
It was such a, it's a weird thing to focus on. It's a moment in the movie that I'm sure a lot of people just glossed over.
All right.
But for me, it was the most honest moment in the movie, and it was the movie that touched me the most.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Anything else about A Simple Favor?
What'd you think of the French pop soundtrack? A little odd. I mean,
again, for somebody who consumes as much media as I do, it was nice to hear somebody play with aesthetic the way that
different.
This group does. Paul Feig and whoever else was in charge of selecting the music. It was different, and I like different. I don't know if I'm going to put it on my Spotify playlist. I mean, who has time with Fra Diavolo releasing an album every 6 weeks?
And then it is going to be the Fra Diavolo station soon, if I remember correctly. It's
going to be all Fra Diavolo, Fra Diavolo and Metallica. That's Spotify.
There you go.
And I don't know, Luke Waller, is that the one
you're asking the wrong dude. It sounds familiar, but I don't know.
In Appalachia, don't they listen to country?
Yes. Do I listen to country is the question you should be asking.
I see. Okay.
And just because I don't, now see, the thing is, if I went out of the house, I might have accidentally heard some of it. But
I hear you like a lot of Stiz Narky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is right.
Songs about the weather.
So the other thing here, there's going to be a. I won't say that. What I'll say is that I love the fact that there's a moment in this movie where actually everything became kind of undone for Emily/Hope when her husband posted a picture of his family on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Then things started to kind of unravel for her a little bit. So it's interesting to see that she made that one comment like fucking Facebook. And I was like, I bet you there's a lot of people that have said the exact same words that she has, where they have Facebook somehow ruined something for somebody.
Well, I'll go you one better. So you're not on TikTok very much, are you?
Mm-mm.
You may have heard about a particular activist who was going to college campuses and engaging in moron debates.
Okay.
And he was shot by somebody who didn't think he was too far enough to the right.
I did hear about that.
Okay. So you may have also heard that the reaction to this untimely unaliving, as the kids would call it, was some people celebrated this because they think when you disagree, you should wish upon and then celebrate someone's death.
Mm-hmm.
Enter a particular TikToker who did a song and dance called Thoughts and Prayers.
Oh, boy.
Because the deceased activist was a gun proponent. And I don't know if you've heard, but we have a small-ish, very niche problem with mass killings by guns in this country.
I have heard.
Yeah, you've heard of this. Okay. I sometimes talk about really bizarre,
stuff that has rabbit holes and all sorts of
right.
things.
So I didn't know if you had heard about the near daily gun deaths in this country.
Yeah, I
mass killings and such with legal machine guns.
Yes.
So I don't know if you've heard about that or not. So anyway, this Chippy does a literal song and dance. Goes thoughts and prayers to so and so. And do you know how people reacted on TikTok to this?
I shudder to even think.
They started sharing the video around, and people who knew where this woman lived and what business she has in the community and her, I guess, partner's business, they started sharing that around and said, go there and make a nuisance of yourself.
Yeah.
So fucking Facebook, fucking TikTok, fucking social media. If you fuck up bad enough and you anger enough people, they are not above directing a lynch mob to your house.
Right. Correct. Fucking Facebook.
Fucking TikTok. How about another fucking simple favor? How about that?
Oh my goodness. It's interesting how we titled the first one FAVOUR. And then we do the second one, and it's FAVOR. Now
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, dude, look at the poster when you get a chance. For some reason, the two posters that you posted there have different spellings of favor, which obviously they mean the same thing. But I think one's Canadian and one's, or maybe British or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I didn't look that closely at it. I just grabbed the two ones that were the same size.
That's that, whatever. That's fine.
I may have even grabbed somebody else's, merging these images together, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I pointed out because when I watched the movie, I think it was on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
It was spelled.
The first one?
Was the first one on Hulu? I think it was. Yeah, I think it was.
I don't remember where I watched the first one, to be honest with you.
It was spelled OUR on the Hulu release, and then on the Amazon Prime movie it was OR. So
right, and
just pointing that out. I mean,
on Netflix it's pronounced QUF7 bat signal.
Yes, I'm ready to get into the next movie.
On Plex, it's just a pirate skull.
That's correct.
All right, so. Another simple favor is very much follows in the vein of every sequel you've ever watched.
Here's the formula.
It's bigger, it's badder, it's in another country, it's convoluted, the bad guy from the first one is the good guy in the second one because they have to team up against a new enemy. Did I mention before they took everything that guys like and just made it girly? Because that's this movie.
Yep.
I didn't hate it, but you watch as much crap as I do, you start to see patterns. And this was very much like the fact that the first one feels like somebody took a book and adapted it, which is exactly what happened, and this one doesn't feel that way, to me was very apparent.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let me give you the simple favor formula. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
A favor drags Stephanie into Emily's orbit. A dark secret from Stephanie resurfaces. Emily fakes / manipulates / and survives. Technology helps flip the script, which in the first one we talked about our little live stream camera as big as a button. Allison Janney gets a drone to the face in this one, so there you go. Their twisted bond.
In the third one, it's going to be AI comes to life like fucking Tron Ares.
I don't know how anyway, there's still a bond between the two. It happens kind of in the first one. Granted, she goes to jail, but there's a bond that starts that kind of ends in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
In the second one, they have this bond that continues. And then by the sixth and final part of this formula is Stephanie grows while Emily wins. So, okay, there you go. That what did I interrupt you that you were saying?
I just wanted to get into the plot of this. So Emily is out of prison and she's getting married to an Italian mobster. And they're bringing everyone to Capri for this wedding. And so the first kind of mystery is why Emily is involving Anna Kendrick. Shouldn't they be enemies? Stephanie is encouraged to go on this trip because she has flagging book sales. She wrote a book about the incident in the first movie. It's not selling as well as they had hoped. She's doing the mommy vlog, which is doing well, but she's no longer doing... She had gone on to do some private eye work, and she was successful at it. But we see in this movie where she starts is she got someone killed, and she's unclear whether or not that person actually did what she thought he did. So she's feeling guilty, and that's where let me stop right there and say what I hate about a lot of sequels is everything that they learned in the first movie, they forget by the time we start the second movie, and they have to relearn the same lesson. At least this one established that she was doing okay, but life got in the way, shit happened, and she stopped. Not that she completely lost the lessons of the first. She doesn't return to being mousy.
Right.
She's just like, I did this for a while, and I feel guilty. I got a dude killed, which seems reasonable to me. Life is a journey that's twisting, got a lot of twists and turns in it. And, life like football, gain some, you lose some, it's a game of inches or yards, as it were. So I don't mind where this starts her off. They kind of jobed her. They get everything they gave her in the first movie, they took away in the second, and she has to kind of rebuild. So when Emily comes along and it's like, I want you to be my maid of honor, she's like, why? You trying to kill me? Like, no, I really want you there. And in the beginning, there's a lot of tension between the two of them. There's Anna Kendrick's like, I'm going on this trip because I will gain something out of it, but I am skeptical of you. And Blake Lively's basically like, you're my only friend. I wish I could invite other people, but I don't know anyone that likes me anymore. I'm a murderer. Like, I'm kind of a terrible human being, and I have nobody. So they get there, and the mother-in-law doesn't like her, and her aunt and her mom have been invited, and the mom is half a crazy person still. And then the Sean's there, and Sean's a drunk, and the boys are older, and it's a big mess. And this all leads to the wedding, and Anna Kendrick observes the groom being shot to death by an unknown assailant. And because this is Italy, and the cops are on the payroll, they easily frame Anna Kendrick for this murder by basically going, she's a witch. That was about the mentality of it. Now, as it turns out, the triplet, the aforementioned triplet. Now, we learned in this first movie, I think it was, that the one triplet died in childbirth. But oh no! In yet another bit of soapy drama, that child was taken from the mother at birth and raised by Allison Janney to be, an ne'er-do-well, a crook, a con artist.
She's messed up in the head too, like pretty bad.
A little bit. So those two hatch a plot to blackmail Blake Lively, well, now that she's attached to the Italian mob, into giving them some money. And for some reason that was never clear to me in the movie, the twin that is currently alive that we just meet in this movie, whose name is Charity, I think.
Charity
shoots him to hell, shoots him to death after having killed Sean in a previous scene. Of course, we don't know that at the time. We don't know this until the very end of the movie. So she kills Sean, then she kills the husband, and then they frame Anna Kendrick for it. And oh, by the way, the FBI's in town. I don't know why it was an FBI agent, because this is Italy. It's a bit out of their jurisdiction. This seems like they should have joined up with Interpol or the CIA.
They're following. Is it Linda? Aunt Linda? That's who Allison Janney plays.
Allison Janney is a known crook, and the FBI is hot on her tail, and they follow her to Italy, which I am arguing with, saying that's not how this works.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. There's an idiot FBI agent in town, and as the movie progresses, we learn all of this. We learn that Charity set all of this up with Allison Janney. Allison Janney murders the mother. Charity does, in fact, or maybe it is alluded to, has sex with her sister.
It's not good. She drugs her and then takes her to a hotel. She's paralyzed in some way.
Yeah.
And it's implied that she at least does something sexual to her.
Did not get consent. Consent was not implied.
Negative.
So anyway, so the mother-in-law is convinced, because she's also an idiot, that Anna Kendrick killed her son, and she tries to have Anna Kendrick killed, but Blake Lively, showing up like fucking Captain America, is able to Wonder Woman her way around the goddamn room and saves Anna Kendrick. And then we have our big plot dump where everything is revealed, and then we have our big finale, where they're on the edge of a cliff, and Allison Janney takes a fucking drone to the head, and she tumbles ass over tea kettle to her death. And then for the next 20 minutes, Blake Lively seduces her sister, her crazy sister, into adopting her identity and going back to prison for her. And she does so willingly because she's retarded. And Anna Kendrick goes home and she writes another book. And this one's a big seller because, she hadn't been blabbing the whole thing on YouTube. And then the mother catches up with Blake Lively, and she's like, I have a simple favor for you. Wink. And that's how the movie ends.
Yep.
I do not want another one of these.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. Go ahead and cross that off my list.
Let me go ahead and say, in an interview with People, Paul Feig expressed interest for a third film. Callicrittis said that she would love to get to spend time with these actors and these characters and these actors again.
Yeah, so, and what exotic place are we going to take a vacation to next time?
I don't know. I've heard Cyprus is nice. Listen,
on the moon.
I don't need to see this anymore. This was fine. I don't hate this. This is not as good as the first movie.
Right.
I have thoughts, but I will go to you first, Jesse. I just want to say again, no more of these movies. I know they set up for a third one.
More.
This is like we're gonna get the fucking Blake Lively. She's an Interpol agent or something. I don't need any more of this universe.
You can't do that formula again, or people are going to have problems with you. You got another simple favor, and that might be the reason why it went to streaming services. What you said, there was some thoughts on that as to why it went there directly.
Dude, post fucking the November of 2024 election, no one's going to see this in theaters.
Right.
It's a hard enough time. You have a hard enough time drawing people to a crowd as it is.
Yeah.
You're not getting, this is not one of those things where in 2018, you take a flyer in a movie like this because a group of women might go out and go enjoy a movie every once in a while. Those women don't go to the movies anymore.
Right.
They stay home in pajamas, matching pajamas, and they drink wine out of coffee cups.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, let me just talk about how the day unveiled for me. So we watched A Simple Favor this morning between like 10 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was about 4:00 today. I was like, okay, let's go ahead and watch another Simple Favor. We'll sit down, we'll have some dinner, we'll watch that while we're eating. But my wife asked me, she goes, I'm really kind of curious as to what they're going to do. And I said, well, I just completely off the top of my head, I said, I bet you the triplets involved this time.
Gee, Jesse, did you see this coming?
I fucking nailed it. I mean, I remember halfway or whenever we get the reveal, I just remember, me and the wife looking at each other going like, well, see, there was a formula to this. The other thing that I was like, if they do it again, it just reeks of like we had to do it.
Yeah.
It was the kiss between Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively. Happens in the first one. And then it happened. I was like, that was such a hot moment in the first one.
Right.
They're going to feel like they need to do it again in the second one. I guarantee it. And I'll be damned if I wasn't right again. They do it again. So this was definitely a movie where they were like, okay, let's do everything that we thought was done right in the first one, or that really struck a chord. Let's do it again, and let's add some crazier shit on top of it in some exotic setting. Okay, that's really, really basic when it comes to trying to write a good sequel. There wasn't really a whole lot new aside from now Emily/Hope wants to be friends, sort of. I mean, she still has a horrible way of showing it. Like, yeah, hey, you're going to be my bridesmaid, and if not, I'm going to sue you into oblivion for using my likeness. Okay, well, you're kind of behind her. She's got to do this now. We have Sean who gets killed in this. I don't know if you mentioned that or not, but yeah, you did. Sean gets killed. He was the first death, and that was probably the most gruesome death in this whole thing. The mafioso, the gay mafioso boss that she is marrying, dies in a very comical way by getting shot and then falling into a damn fireworks shed. Fireworks start exploding all over the place.
Absolutely how I want to go out.
Please. And light me on fire and throw me in the fireworks shed.
Yeah,
I'm going down. So again, we got to go over the top with that. It just seemed like we appreciated the chemistry these two had at the beginning. Let's see what they can do in a sequel. Let's see if they can match it. And not only that, we're going to add a couple other actors, comedic actors, maybe to come in here, like the assistant. Which, I mean, she had maybe a couple things, a couple funny lines, but it did not hit the same notes as the first one does at all.
No, this definitely suffers from a lot of the same problems that other sequels suffer. This doesn't carry the emotional weight of the first one. The mystery's not all that interesting. I think it actually falls into one very specific trap/trope that everything tonally and thematically and in genre that makes the first one good, they abandon in the second one in favor of making it an action movie.
Okay.
Which I fucking hate.
Yeah, there are a lot of action movie elements to this. Oh, the mafioso. Oh, we're going to torture you. Oh, okay, we're going to give you truth serum.
When Blake Lively shows up to save her and she's like kicking ass, I'm like, oh, fucking fuck you.
Yeah.
Like my eyes rolled so hard I gave myself a migraine. And you ever roll your eyes so much you can see your own asshole? That's how hard I rolled my eyes.
Yeah.
physically fucking hurt myself. That's how much I rolled my eyes. It was awful. Like, it was so stupid.
Yeah.
There's like a chase scene in this. You know, like none of that shit's in the first one, and it didn't need it.
No,
Like,
it didn't.
You know, and it's so funny because like the best part of this movie for me is where they take Anna Kendrick's phone and they pay the maid to give her the note that says "Meet me here" so she can catch up with the FBI agent, and they're trying to sneak past the lazy Italian fucking guards.
She's like, I need a cart that I can hide in.
The bit with the cart was legitimate. Like, I laughed hard at that stuff.
No, do you understand English? I'm talking to you now, am I not?
Here's the thing. I've been Anna Kendrick in that moment where, like, you're talking to somebody and they're not stupid, but they're not getting it either. You're like, how do I get this horse to drink the water? How do I do it? I need you to drink water. And so, like, getting her out of there and getting her out of the hotel and the reaction to the maid were all, like, the best part of this. It was all hilarious. Blake Lively playing her sister. So everything that was good about her playing her sister in the first one sucks in the second one. Like, I laughed at certain things, like, you know, when she comes in as, like, the Italian grieving widow, and no one knows that that's not Hope just yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so or Emily rather. It doesn't really matter what you call her, Schmagegi, you know, and so, and she's talking at a different cadence, and she's being weird, and Anna Kendrick calls her out, and the first words out of Anna Kendrick's mouth is like, "What are you doing, Corpse Bride?"
Yeah.
I laughed hard at that line. And then every time you talk to this fucking character, she's like, and you know, Stephanie, the walls in the mall are so totally tall. For sure. And I'm like, dude, there's not enough drugs to get me through this movie if this is what we're going to be doing the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, I like Alice and Janie I could deal with. Blake Lively playing herself on glue, not so much.
Right.
It's just so bothered the shit out of me. I could have done with, like I said, I could have done without the action bits. I could have done without the superhero sequences. The rest of it, you know, it was kind of a sweet story / mystery of like, when I got myself sent to prison, I reached out to a friend who needed a beard because he's really gay and, you know, and he wanted to be with his lover, but he can't so long as he's not married to a broad. So I've decided I'll be that broad, you know, and I get to live in the lap of fucking Italian luxury, and he gets to, you know, and we get to do each other a favor. Just kind of the theme of these movies. And it was like, okay, well, that I buy.
Yeah, that felt like a good twist, because I definitely wasn't. You see all that tension between these two guys at the beginning of this film. As things roll on, you're like, oh, that's a rival family, and he's gonna be a suspect, or maybe they tried to kill him, and blah blah blah. But what you end up finding out is that he was gay for that guy.
Right.
They were both lovers, and they couldn't do that out in the open. I thought that was a good twist, and that actually felt like, you know,
like there's elements of this where they throw enough shit at the wall to keep it interesting, but some of the shit they throw is so fucking trite that like I don't hate this movie. There's enough about it that I do like, and I'll go ahead and say again, if you like the fashion in the first movie, oh boy, the second one. What the fuck is she wearing in that final scene?
No, I know, dude. It's
I
like
see
spaghetti.
that shit. I see that shit at swinger sex parties.
Get me the spaghetti sauce. I want some ragu right now.
Get that fuck money.
Yeah, that was a dress.
Virgil used to say it was fuck money and something else. It was meat sauce. That's what it was.
Meat sauce.
Jesse wants that meat sauce. Yeah, like she's basically wearing like a fucking bathing suit and like a beaded fucking, I don't know, overalls.
Yeah.
You know, so that's another thing. Blake Lively running around never puts on a bra. Everything she's wearing is like open tits. Like, outstanding.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like her outfit, like you see in the poster, like her flowered blouse, fucking amazing, dude. Like, like again, they really dressed her up well in this.
Yeah, I agree. I remember taking special notice to the flower thing that you're talking about, because I kept looking for the strap that goes around. I'm like, I don't think it's there.
Right.
No,
like
don't tell my wife.
It's like they're all fucking thorns and they're just sticking into her. Why are you teary-eyed? Don't worry about it.
I honestly, the whole sister rape thing, I honestly think that was written in there to do the joke.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it does kind of put her over, and I'll never forget.
It feels like they're sitting in the writer's room going, what worked in the first movie? Anna Kendrick bangs her hot brother. Okay, well, we have to have another fucking incest banging again. Was it Anna Kendrick? No, we could spread the incest around. Spread it around like butter.
Yeah, we got to give her sister fucker.
Yeah.
She's got to be able to.
Now it's brother, father, and sister fucker.
I'll never forget. I was told, this a while back. In order to, we were talking about comic book characters, and there was a specific comic book character that had raped another character. And
is this the not Moon Knight? Fucking Mockingbird.
I mean, it might have been the one that I'm specifically thinking of is a comic that you probably never read, and that was one about I think it was She-Dragon, if I remember correctly.
No,
okay,
I know the infamous rape that happens in Watchmen, and I know about Mockingbird being sexually assaulted by like Ghost Rider or some shit.
Image Comics had the She-Dragon who gets taken in by these Martians, and they pretty much rape her and impregnate her. And so I was like, man, what a weird.
I'd like to remind people that comics are meant for children.
I said, well, that was brought up. But I was like, well, this is a weird situation that happened in this comic. This is legitimately a Mars Attacks branded comic. Okay. Mars Attacks is silly. It's goofy. This was happening in Mars Attacks Image. And what was explained to me is that in order to get these people over as evil, that's what writers would do. They were like, the most evil thing you could do is rape somebody. So that is what I kind of think here. And it's not done well in the book. It seems like it's just out of the blue, but you want to get these characters over that they're evil. It's not looked upon very, very kindly, for sure. So that's what I think.
I wonder, like, if you're making a movie meant for women and women buy books where they can bang doors and pillows and Sasquatches, like, again, maybe that's the mentality. I don't know. I'm not a woman.
I don't know either. Anyway, I just feel like that was unnecessary. But I guess if you're trying to land the joke, I will tell you that, the wife looked at me and said, did not like this one.
Yeah.
So,
this is a steep drop off from the first one.
Agreed. I agree.
Like I said, there are elements about it that I said this about. I saw one battle after another today, and I walked out of that movie and I said, there are elements of this movie that are outstanding. Taken as a whole, it sucks. There are elements of The Simple Favor that I think are outstanding. Taken as a whole, it sucks. That's really the last thing I have to say about it. I'll give you the last word.
Oh, my goodness. My final thoughts here. I think it tries to outdo the first with bigger deaths, more twists, wider cast of villains. Sometimes it's entertaining spectacle. Other times it feels like it's a parody of itself. If you love the Emily Stephanie toxic dynamic in the first movie, there's plenty of that here. It's wrapped in a louder, messier package, though. I mean, that first one was so tight. Can
I be Emily and you be Stephanie, and I just call you baby? Oh, baby.
Again, alpha. She's got that alpha energy. I'm telling you, dude. She's got that.
Baby, baby, wrap it up, baby.
It's fun in parts, but I mean. The first film, suburban, like noir.
Somewhere out there, Robert's listening to this going, I would have bet money Mark thinks he's fucking Blake Lively. I will bet it all. Everyone listening to this podcast is like, well, between the two of them, Mark is absolutely Blake Lively and Jesse is poor Anna Kendrick.
We took a test at one point. I think it's pretty evident that I'm the mousy, bratty one.
This is true.
So I have taken that test.
Who hits me with a car, Pat or Chris? No, Robert's not the gay stay-at-home dad.
Yeah, that's right. We got to figure out who that would be. I don't
Bevins.
know, man. Somebody's gonna have to bite the bullet.
Evan Bevins hits me with the car.
Okay, all right. It's out, and he's like, some language.
You know who hits me with the car? I don't know why this didn't occur to me the first time. Ronnie Adams.
Ronnie Adams does.
Ronnie Adams runs me over because in the next movie he's helping me sell my books.
Okay. Beautiful.
Wonderful.
All right. Well, there you go. I mean, this was not a good follow-up to it. And yes, I do not want a third one. Please don't do a third one. If I honestly was trying to figure out what a third one would look like, and you cannot copy the same formula, which unfortunately, the only thing you could do is try to bring it back to its roots, back to what the first one was.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to scale down.
Yeah.
You can't just
But
keep getting.
You can't do another sister.
No,
You have to leave Emily's.
well,
family
just
entirely
wait
out.
till the third one.
Really? I don't think you can do another relative of Emily's. I think you'd have to do something entirely new. You know, again, they set it up where she's working for the Italian mob. So I think if they do a third one, it's sometime in the future. Emily's been doing shit for this mob family. And now and something's happened to her. She's on the run. Like, Anna Kendrick, save me. You know, Anna Kendrick has to go back to Italy. Like, I never wanted to go back to Rome, but they brought me back.
Hi,
here.
moms.
And, hi, moms. I'm eating spaghetti.
You wonder why I'm here, back at the traumatic setting of what happened in the last. The few years ago.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you about this. This was fun.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, there'll be less fun. It'll be myself, Robert. Allegedly, Chris Owens is joining us. Oh yeah, look at that. Chris
Owens.
Yeah, one of the guys from Movies That Don't Suck and Some That Do.
Oh, okay.
We'll be talking one battle after another. A movie that my son walked out of and said, "Am I supposed to like these people?" So that was hilarious. Wednesday, assuming I can get them watched in time, myself and Alexis will be reviewing the last season of Upload. So speaking of something that needed to end a while ago, Upload season 4, I think it is.
I was just about to ask what season they were on.
And then this Thursday, it's myself, Sean Comer, and Kat Scott. We will be doing a Michael Mann, not Joseph Kosinski, triple feature. Ferrari, Heat, and Collateral. And that will be it for the month of September.
Heat's that's an investment in time right there, baby.
Yes, sir. A week from tonight, myself and Sean will be doing an on trial for Tron Legacy. Years ago, we did one for the original Tron. We're doing another one again. A week from tomorrow, Damn You Hollywood will be doing The Smashing Machine. A week from Wednesday, myself and Alexis will be reviewing Monster Season 3. And then a week from Thursday, me and Sean again, we're doing another on trial, this time for a movie I have wanted to review for years now, and that is Maximum Overdrive.
Oh boy.
I have not been able to watch Maximum Overdrive yet. I've always wanted to, and so I decided that this year we were going to do that and dedicate an entire episode to it.
Okay, that sounds like fun. It's been a while since I've seen it.
That's okay. I mean, if Sean doesn't get his shit together, I may actually call upon you.
Uh-oh.
You're on deck.
I hear there was a lot of cocaine involved or something in that movie. I cannot remember some
in the
of the
making
stories
of it?
I've heard. I wouldn't surprise me. I would have to take a look and see what was going on. But yeah, that's a nice little early Estevez film too,
Yes.
which is pretty cool.
Jesse Starcher, what comic book did we review 8 months ago that is only going up tomorrow?
Wait, you have it in front of you? Because I just did not pull up my schedule. I was getting ready to pull it up.
Tomorrow, Jesse will be doing The Butcher of Paris.
The Butcher of Paris. That's kind of timely a little bit. I think it was a couple months ago. A Day Tripper got scheduled in November, bro. That's how far that
far
is.
out we are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I just uploaded those today, as a matter of fact. But yeah, tomorrow, Butcher of Paris. You know, it's of those three that we get to we have discussed that are in this trilogy of the next 3 episodes. This one, I don't think we had too much to say about it. It was an interesting.
No, it's weird that you're starting with that one. Didn't we start that entire episode with The Crow?
We might have.
Why
I think
are
I
you
took.
releasing them out
Oh,
of
I know
order?
why I did. I know why I did. And oh boy, that'll be interesting. I wonder how that's going to sound. I know when I took The Crow and I threw it on the 27th. That's closest to Halloween. That's
Okay.
what I was shooting for. But anyway, Butcher of Paris. It was a thing that happened in history, folks. Take a listen to us. Me and Mark talk about the comic book. And no, I put Many Deaths of Layla Starr at the 27th. I don't know what I'm doing over here, Mark. I have no idea.
You're out of control, Starter.
I have no clue. But anyway, yeah, folks, check that out on the Source Material Comics podcast. That's going to be airing tomorrow. And then I'm in the process also of doing Black September. which is it's the 30th anniversary of Black September, where Marvel did acquire Malibu, tried to reboot the comics, and it didn't go over so well. Yeah, a bunch of those episodes are in the process of airing, trying to get at least half of the Infinity issues in before September ends. Wake me when September ends. And then me and Evan Bevins helped Evan Bevins move a piano over the weekend. And then we decided, we also got to get prepared here at some point for the next Marvel Snap related podcast, Snap Material. That's right. That's going to probably be airing in a couple weeks. I imagine we're going to record and have some content out there. So if you play Marvel Snap on your mobile device, we might have something for you. So please feel free to tune in. That's it.
All right, folks, thanks for joining us here on the long road to ruin. He's got a wet-ass pussy, and I've got to pack up to go sleep at a hotel tonight. Be well, be safe, and behave.